Is it titled our second?
I changed the title before you got here.
Oh, okay.
Let me double check that.
I was trolling you.
I took out the numbered thing. All right, you doing another hand?
Yeah,
Cool.
One of these times I might just mess around and bring my Copic markers and just to switch things up, do like a anime character or comic book character.
Okay.
Just
I'm
two.
liking that. I was thinking about finally doing metal on this thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm going to do that tonight. I am going to turn on some music real quick because I just realized I want to go grab something real quick. Black Sabbath, huh? When was I listening to Black Sabbath?
Oi, oi, oi.
No, can't play that stuff. Instrumental chill beats. Here we go. This is the one we listened to last time.
Nice.
I don't think this stuff is as like if I turn on Magic Sword, we're gonna get the FBI is gonna show up.
I feel like those guys would appreciate at some point.
Well, the problem is it's their record companies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, that's why.
The whole problem.
Yeah. It's the business that ruins it.
It is. It's nothing that we did or didn't do.
Dude, I listened to a whole TikTok of Jared Leto, you know?
Oh, yeah, dude. That stuff is crazy.
He was talking about how they basically, like, give you the money and you end up always in debt to them.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Dude,
it's
that was
documentary.
Wild.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, like, even if that's not the standard, the fact that would be something people did is really horrible.
It's really messed up, my guy.
But you know what I mean, though? Like, because sometimes you'll hear things like that, and then somebody will chime in, like, that's a popular artist, and be like, that wasn't my experience. And you're like, okay. So then you start looking into it, and you're like, okay, well, I guess there are some smaller companies that don't do that. And, like, a lot of the bigger companies have filtered away from doing that. So maybe it's not standard, but the fact is, it's not that it's not exactly that. They've just kind of figured out a different way to do it. And then, like, I don't know.
Well, like, here's one of the things that I'll tell you happens for sure is that no one is getting their revenue from streaming. I don't think any artists are getting their revenue from streaming.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you run it yourself. Okay, so we're live. We just got my goofy head.
Your goofy head.
I like to
my
check.
hand.
Yeah, I'm just looking down. I like to check the my other phone.
Yeah.
To make sure stuff.
Are you our two viewers then?
Probably.
Unless, I wonder if Crypto Bros checked us out at least once more time.
You know, I don't know.
If he's peeked in, just say hey.
We may never know.
I guess we'll never know.
I guess we'll never know. I'll pick this guitar up soon. Guitar is out of tune. Oh, and speaking of, it is out of tune. I need to tune this guy.
Dude, I haven't picked up one of my guitars in a criminally long time, and I know the moment I do that I'm going to just realize that it's long overdue to put new strings on them.
Oh, yeah, and that's gnarly, bro. Strings get gnarly.
Yeah. So they've just been, well, this is the thing, too, is like the temperature and humidity in my apartment fluctuates pretty bad, which pretty much means that the strings are constantly, you know.
How bad is it getting?
I mean, it's pretty bad, man.
So I'm just going to start ranting to you about something that's kind of loosely based on some interactions that I've had today.
All right.
I'm getting tired of the lack of authenticity, and I think that one of the reasons that I struggle with trying to maintain friendships and relationships of any regard is because I just don't. It's that cliche thing that shows up. every now and then. I'll play this guitar at some point, but when there's not a lot of people watching,
Do your thing, man. Do what
I
you
don't
need.
feel like I'm not entertaining anybody exactly. um, it's that thing that shows up every now and then where, when I realized that I wasn't the only one not wearing a mask for the costume party.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I've had that. I just have that feeling so much, and I don't understand it. I don't understand what it is that's keeping people. It's so when I show up and I'm authentically me, it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like that again. That cliche of like I'm alone in a crowded space. It's everyone's interacting with me, and I can see their facade.
Yeah.
I can sense their facade. And then they treat you like that's what you're doing. And they don't realize it's like, no, man. Like, I'm doing better, but I gotta get right with God.
Yeah.
It's just, I keep telling him it's my only hope. It's the only true connection I really feel like I have. We're really good friends, but you know what I'm
I
saying.
don't take any offense to that because I feel the same way.
We can't connect on that kind of a level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not possible. It sucks.
Got a ladybug over here again.
We have an infestation. I don't know where they come from, but I've seen like 60 of them, and I'm not even exaggerating. The kids caught like 20 of them a couple of weeks ago.
Dang.
It was hilarious. They had them in a little habitat. Yeah, it's getting draining. That's why I hope that this stuff works out one day.
Yeah.
To some degree. Because if I can start to be in a space, but man, it's like we were consistently punished for being authentic at church. You're consistently punished for being authentic in your workplace. All of us are. 98% of the social interactions I have, you're punished for being authentic. But you know, it's this thing that's just driving me crazy. Where so many Christians are like, this thing is a sin, and this thing is a sin, and this thing, and I'm like, you're not wrong. You're showing me where it is in the Bible. I mostly agree with you, but it's like I'm getting tired of pretending too. You know, it's like that's why I keep saying that, making jokes, and I almost pulled the trigger on getting that shirt made, that Jesus loves you, I don't.
Yeah.
Where it's like, is that the right way to be? No, but I'm also getting tired of pretending, even in my faith, like I actually mean that when I say that I love you. It's like I actually don't. you know, I don't. But then talking to you, you'll have some counterpoints to the degree of, but John, and you're going to be 100% correct, and I'll end up agreeing with you, which is that, well, actually you do love them, because look at what you are willing to do and what you're willing to say and the things that you're willing. And at the end of the day, you're right. Okay, you know what? That is love, but it don't feel like it over here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It don't feel like it. Like I feel like I'm being inauthentic to these people if I'm like, yeah, I love you. It's like, no, actually I don't. You drive me up the wall. Is it selfish? I don't know. I'm getting tired of trying to act like that it's sweet, like it's okay. You get the idea.
Yeah.
It's like this raw version of my faith is wanting to start to present itself. And then I'm ranting, clearly. The other thing that I've been thinking a lot about lately too is what led me to text you that thing the other morning that you said was like a version of a inauthentic church. I'll say it like that.
Very diplomatic.
I thought it was very funny, though. When I told you I legitimately laughed, I thought that was very funny, the way you worded it. But the inauthentic church, like I've been thinking about the Sermon on the Mount a lot lately, and how Jesus didn't do that with filling the air with a bunch of, well, for him, it would have been like Jewish doctrine and a Jewish altar call and a Jewish call for confession. You know what? You see what I'm saying? It was something that a pagan could have approached, that a Muslim could have approached, that a Roman citizen, that a Jewish person could have approached and been like, man, I resonate with this. I like this. And that's what kind of led me down the road of thinking is like, do I even have the way that I will think about sharing the gospel? Is that even kind of, should it be different? You know? Should it be more, for lack of a better term, approachable and generic? Instead of so much like hellfire, brimstone, and come to the altar, and here's the ABCs of how you need to come with faith, because the Sermon on the Mount wasn't like that at all.
Right.
I don't know. That's what led me to think about that.
Yeah, it was weird. So when we were going to the game yesterday, we got out there and we were coming out of the parking garage and we're getting ready to walk across the street, and a bunch of traffic, big crowds, and there's a guy and he's got his kids around him and he's got a little PA system set up. Like you've been downtown before, like how they usually have those guys playing the buckets with drumsticks.
Oh, yeah.
It was in that spot, but he had a PA system and he had a microphone and he was shouting, "Everyone is guilty. We're all guilty. You're all, like we all need Jesus." And I'm like, I was talking to my brother it was funny because there's no way he could hear me because he was just in his zone, Yeah. He was in the flow state. I'm standing. Yeah. I was standing right in front. I'm glad you like that.
Yeah.
I'm standing right in front of him and I'm just like talking to my brother. And I was like, "You think you need a permit for that? Or you can just come out here and yell at people for..." And Ryan laughed or whatever. And I go, it's weird because like, I don't disagree with him, but I disagree with him. Like,
yeah, the approach is off.
Yeah. I don't think he's wrong, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's because when people act that way, it almost reveals what motivated them to live right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it sounds like he cares about people, right? But if he cared about people, why would he do it, like present it in a way that most people would reject on principle? Like I said, like I agreed with him, but I don't want to stop and talk to this guy,
Right.
So like him feeling so compelled that's the trigger point for people means that must be the trigger point for him. And the reason that he's doing that is because he thinks he has to do that so that he doesn't end up on the other side of the things that he's shouting about. And I think that's what annoys me, is because I don't think that stuff, while important, is the stuff that you should, like, that's just fear. You're just still living in fear if you live that way.
Very fear motivated. Another thing that came to mind while you were explaining that also was, I'm over caffeinated, by the way.
Good. I caffeinated before the gym, and so I'm hoping it's bringing me down, because the last week we did this, I caffeinated right here, and I was up till 3 a.m. So
I'm definitely over.
I haven't done that in a while, so I don't want to do that anymore.
The thing that came to my mind was thinking about the Sermon on the Mount, thinking about that text I sent you that morning, your experience that you just shared about the game, is making me have this thought, and maybe it's a God thought. You have to build trust before you get to that part.
Right.
And I think that's the thing that's missing right now. It's hard to balance that sense of urgency, because I respect and I appreciate, and I have my own sense of urgency in that context.
Yeah.
With him, that matches his energy. But thinking from a person that doesn't know anything, you'd like to see some kind of trust built, some kind of like mutual shared human experience to be presented and built upon before you get into the details
Yeah.
of these things, or before you have that conversation.
In a weird enough way, like we used to talk about this in college. Like, so the first time you get to your first drawing class, obviously, like everybody's working on stuff. You're working with people. You walk, you're sitting next to people and you see what they're doing and you're trying to encourage them. And then it comes to the day where everybody hangs it up on the wall and you see what everybody's been doing. And the idea is everybody wants to get better at what they're doing. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in a class, So like, you got to find a way to be like, hey, that doesn't look like you want it to look. But you have to do it in a way where like because the very first critique, some girl just started crying when they were like, that doesn't look good. And she just started crying. And so then nobody wanted to talk. And so then the first critique became, hey guys, this is how you need to think about presenting this stuff. I know you worked hard on it, but it's just a week. And you obviously didn't have all the time in the world to put into this. So let's talk about what you could improve on, and let's talk about things that you could also recognize that you did well this time around. So what he ended up telling us is like, when you critique someone, and this is pretty popular, I think people have put it in books and stuff like
sandwich.
that. Yeah. So it's the critique sandwich, where you say something nice, you give a little bit of a constructive criticism, and then you end it with something nice and positive. And that way, when you parcel it out, it shows that you recognize effort and skill were used. You offer a little outside opinion on, hey, from my perspective, maybe you could do this. And then you say, great job. Look forward to see what else you have, coming up. And then that's a way to do that. Whereas like that builds trust in people, because then you're sitting with these people all week, you're sitting with these people all month, all semester. And you if there are people that just don't adhere to that and they're just mean and they just tear everybody down, nobody wants to sit by them. Nobody wants to get paired with them. There's an element of, if you're just brutal with people, that's like, okay, well, you don't actually care about me. You just want to be mean.
And then I think that reflects on them. So
Right.
Another thing that I'm learning to fit into that is I'm starting to really notice the amount of projection
Yeah.
that's taking place. And sometimes I have to separate that frustration that these people have, that seems like it's with me, is really that projection,
Yeah. I told one of the girls I worked with that. She was like upset because somebody had said something about her. And I was like, that's something I learned from my dad growing up, is like, whenever somebody critiques you, even if they say something just brutally mean or insult you, know on some level that it wouldn't bother you if it wasn't at least on some level partially true. So there's a little bit of it that regardless of how small it is, that you can take into consideration and observe that. But the other thing is, a lot of time when people criticize you, what they're really criticizing is something that they dislike in themselves, that they're harshly fighting against, which is weird. And that sounds super stereotype. Like, people be like, oh, the only reason they hate you is because they're jealous of you, or like that kind of thing. I don't think it's like that. You know what I mean? But I think it is like, I don't know, there was a lot of times growing up where I was a mean big brother. So I had my little brother, and he would do something, and I would just blast him for it. And the reason that I blasted him for it, looking back as an adult, is not because there was anything wrong with what he was doing. It was that he did something and had fun doing something that looked weird to other people, that at one point I wanted to do, and somebody mocked me or yelled at me for. And so then you come back and you're like, you look like an idiot when you do that, or whatever.
Yeah.
It is. And then you hurt his feelings, and then he doesn't do it anymore. And so then you both grow up not wanting to share that aspect of yourself.
Leaving it hidden. You pass the abuse.
Yeah. And that's
Right.
I don't like that.
I know. Where I do that the most, and this is funny that you brought this up because it's making me think about the thing I was going to share about myself that's brutal. and I have to fight this. Like if a chick like was crying in class, it triggers anger in me,
Yeah.
and it shouldn't. Weakness is okay. And it's like when my coach, I had a great conversation with Berto. One of the first few times we talked, I go, man, it's hard for me. I was just being honest with him. I said, it's hard for me to respect unfit people because it's really the crown of weakness. And I know that's not right. I know that I shouldn't be like that. And he said, the suffering didn't pick you, and you have to remember that. I mean, you didn't pick the suffering. You didn't pick your experiences, the things that made you harder, the things that made you be able to show up, the things that made you realize that so much of the things that people worry about are trivial, essentially. He didn't say it exactly like that, but, I'm paraphrasing it and making it have some kind of context to what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But that resonated, because it was mainly about fitness is what we were talking about, but that resonated with me, and I've been thinking about that still. It's the things that I experienced that made me tougher than the average bear. It's like, I didn't pick that.
Yeah.
It happened to me.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, what are you taking credit for? That's kind of a side thing that wasn't very related to what you were talking about. But when you mention, the projection thing and you were stamping out the fun in your brother and now he doesn't like it and both of you let part of yourself die, the thing that I just was trying to be upfront about with myself is that weakness, and it's really hard for me. It's really hard for me to be around that. I know that it's toxic, especially in this culture and in this day and age. People are chewed up and spit out. They got no real support mechanisms. You end up with a doctor that just wants to sell you a service and not actually health care. Then for older people, young adults and older people, you go to therapy, which ends up really just being a person, in my opinion, 9 times out of 10, and I'm sure that if anybody was watching this or if anybody sees it later, I'll get lambasted for what I'm about to say, but that doesn't matter because I'm going to say it anyways. Yeah. But the therapist, to me, 9 times out of 10 is a person that knows they're doing this to you, but is affirming you so that you continue to show up for their service.
Mm-hmm.
And so no one has a real support mechanism.
No. And that's honestly what I've observed in toxic.
It's not love to me.
Yeah. What I've observed in toxic people around myself, and what I try really hard not to be too, is giving somebody advice so that they always come to me for advice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't like. The only reason I can give advice is because I'm messed up,
Absolutely.
And that's the only time I'm going to tell you, hey, I think you should do this, is because I've done what you're probably about to do, and it went a way that you probably don't want it to go.
10 million %. 10 million %. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, it's when you're in that mentor capacity, when you're in that teacher capacity, like we were in that church for so long, I feel like I am doing you a disservice if I make you dependent on me. Mm-hmm. Like, that's not love. That's not me loving you. If I make you dependent on this thing to make you, in my opinion, to make you feel real love is to make you accountable, to make you comfortable with the accountability that you're going to accept.
Yeah.
Accepting your role in this equation, rising to the challenge. When you feel completely hopeless, you're like, man, I'm a screw up. I ruined all this. And I'm going to tell you, you did. Mm-hmm. And you are a screw up. But guess who else is? I am what's wrong with the world after all.
Yeah.
Here's how you can then overcome it. And I want you to not have me here to walk you through this process every time. Because what am I doing really? if I make you dependent on me. It's not love, in my opinion. That is not love. And to go loop it all the way back around to that thing that I said is like, I feel like I don't love any of the people around me. And then you would rightfully should be like, but John, this is the things that I hear you say and see you do for people. You do love them. And I'm going to be like, ultimately have to concede you're correct.
Well, because that's the paradox of it. I
don't feel like it.
Yeah. That's the paradox of it, is the only reason that you're really bothered about that kind of stuff, especially when it doesn't necessarily affect you, is because you care.
It's because I care. That's part of the reason why we want to do this. I'm getting tired of the inauthentic church, the church guru that just wants to sell you another book that's not going to do you any good, that's going to feed you a doctrine that is, what am I trying to say? There's just too much of that, of the doctrine that is enabling.
Mm-hmm.
There's just too much enabling going on. And it's like, you need reality check. It's reality check time. It's time to get your head out of the sand. It's time to see the real issue, the real light of day. There's not a lot of authenticity that exists anywhere. And that's one of the big reasons why I want to do this thing that we're doing with this and making the authentic art and giving it heart and giving it a new purpose again and having fun and building a community eventually of people that are like-minded and wanting to strive for these things and wanting to be better in all areas and really being authentic about it. And oh man, I've got so many gripes about the way the current culture is. But I might start playing guitar soon. I don't know. Kind of feel like playing in a minute. But I don't know. We'll see. I don't mind sitting here either because, I don't really think. This will start moving when we finally do our thing. After this weekend, we need to have something going.
Yeah.
Because we had to keep that promise to ourselves. I don't mind us being last minute. But once it gets rolling too, like I said, I'll push a little cash into the algorithm. That comes back nicely. I've had good experiences with that. Okay, I'm gonna walk past this camera. I'll be right back. Too many monsters.
Did you have that Viking berry one?
No, I've almost burnt myself out on that one. I got a rehab one I had never had before. Wild berry tea or something. I mean, I don't think it's a new flavor, but I hadn't seen it. So I gave it a shot, and it's pretty tasty. Pretty tasty, my friend. Boy, that looks good already over here.
You like it? Do.
Yeah, it's just I'm getting used to doing this.
Yeah, that's one of the things I got to fight. Dude. It's the worst thing in the world, and I've had it in my head all week. I don't know why. My coworker shared it with me. It was a video of this guy that's like at Indian fish market, and he's like trying to get people to come over, and he made up a little jingle, and it's so catchy, and he's like, "Come on, ladies, 1 pound fish, 5 for $1, 1 pound fish, come and have a look, 1 pound fish, have a look, 1 pound fish," and I'm like, very, very good, 1 pound. And when I tell you that if you were to walk by a window and look in and see me just looking off in space
That's what you're
at any
thinking?
point this week, that's exactly the song that was playing in my head because I couldn't get it to stop.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Do you remember Rich Brian?
Rich Brian,
Little
no?
Korean guy that kind of had a joke rap career that turned into a real one. And he had a song called That Stick.
No.
For some reason, that song resurfaced in my head. I'll play it for you after stream. It is not wholesome. It's
Do you hear that? Yeah. Do you know what it is?
Mm-mm.
So earlier today, like a typical Midwestern dude, I heard that and I ran outside to see what it was. And it's some F-15 that's flying.
Oh, I bet it's an F-18.
It might be an F-18 actually, because
Well, I'm not going to say why. I might know.
uh,
But anyways.
but it's flying super high, but it's so loud.
Yeah.
Like it was funny because I ran out on my porch and I saw my neighbor like down the street. I could see him in his yard looking up at the sky too. But he was so high.
I believe it's called a prowler is the modification. But anyways, I'll stop saying that.
Yeah, it is loud.
But let me try to censor this because it's stuck in my head real hard. But he goes, "I don't give a flip about the mother flipping cops. I'm gonna pull up with that stick and hit your mother flipping dog." Yeah, I'll play it for you. I'll play it for you later.
Okay.
It's been hard stuck in my head all week, and I don't
That's
know
hilarious.
why. I don't know why. I don't know why. Yeah, man, I keep just being transparent with you. I keep setting these lofty goals. Well, you know this because it's taken us forever to do this even. And then I just always run out of time. By the time I get done working and being a dad, it's like, I feel like I can't do this. I want to write so much music for this so I don't have to, like right now, we're listening to other people's music. I don't want it to have to be like that.
Yeah.
I want this to be my own. But my goodness, for me to record 90 minutes of music is going to take a while. And, and it's like I feel a little bit guilty for not devoting enough time to that. And
That's the
it's
thing.
rough.
It's one of those things too, is because you know what you're capable of.
Exactly.
If you have an open field.
Exactly.
And so that's what you're setting on your because that's what I do to myself. It's like I know what I can get done this week if I had nothing else to do.
Yes.
And so I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And then what ends up happening is everything else that I have to do gets in the way. And like when I have that hour to just like cram in the thing that I was going to do in that hour, that little hour goes by like that. And my whole brain was in a buffering wheel the whole time.
Yes.
And then I have to be like, all right, well, I'll do this next, tomorrow at this hour. And it's like a vicious cycle of that. So that's one of those old JP things. It's like, it sounds silly to give this kind of advice, but when you set your goals, you got to set them to where they are achievable. Because if you set them too high, even if you could achieve them, it's exhausting.
Exactly.
So you don't want to burn out.
Exactly. Right?
I burn out a lot, dude. I'm like a birthday candle.
It's rough, man. It's rough. And it's also not to kind of sound like I'm, woe is us or anything like that, but it's just hard when you feel like you're catching L's all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, what did we do, man? Like, I'm not telling you I'm a great person by any stretch of the imagination, but it's like, what did I do to just feel like I'm just constantly losing?
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to do that, but it's like, why does it always feel like that? Like, what did I do to deserve that?
Yep, I get that. Have a look.
That's a 1-4-5 progression. Here's another chord progression we're going to do. We're going to do a 1, and then a 2, and then a 4, and then a 5. Okay, now here's a 2. I'm going to do a 2, 5, 1 now. So it'd be 2. That was kind of nice. So a 2. Come on, play it right, Johnny. 2 to a 5. And then a 1. Sounds like an ending to something.
Yeah.
So a 2, 5, 1. A little bit of a different energy when I play it in a different register. This was a 1, 6, 2, 5. Let's try that out. So a 1 and a 6 and a 2 and then a 5. 1, 6, then a 2, and then a 5. That's a pretty cool progression. 6, 2, and then a 5. That's pretty cool. Let's try a 1, 5, 6, 4. 1, 5, 6, 4. Ooh, I like that chord progression a lot. I'm gonna remember that. That 1, 5, right? 6, and then 4. I like that a lot. Ooh, that's a good one.
Dude,
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
I might read something to you while you play that. Would that mess you up?
No.
Okay. Because I've been, like, you know how I told you I listen to, like, sometimes I'll listen to poems or speeches or stuff like sermons on the way home from work to try and, like, relax me.
Yeah.
I've been listening to that Man in the Arena.
Oh, yeah.
And whenever I listen to that, like, there's this really, really, man, I want to find the right one now. There's this really inspiring, like, kind of like guitar music behind it that sounds kind of like that. See, now the one I read, I didn't realize the one I listen to pulls an additional portion away from it. I don't know why my voice is weakening. But I'm going to read the paragraph before it that you may not be as familiar with. It says, "Let the man of learning, the man of lettered leisure, beware of that queer and cheap temptation, pose himself, and to others, as a cynic, as the man who has outgrown emotions and beliefs, the man to whom good and evil are as one. The poorest way to face life is to face it with a sneer. There are many men who feel a kind of twisted pride in cynicism. There are many who confine themselves to criticism of the way others do what they themselves dare not even attempt. There is no more unhealthy being, no man less worthy of respect than he who either really holds or feigns to hold an attitude of sneering disbelief toward all that is great and lofty, whether in achievement or in that noble effort which, even if it falls, comes second to achievement. A cynical habit of thought and speech, a readiness to criticize work which the critic himself never tries to perform, an intellectual aloofness which will not accept contact with life's realities. All these are marks, not as the possessor, my eyes jumped. They mark the men unfit to bear their part painfully in the stern strife of living, who seek, in the affection of contempt for the achievement of others, to hide from others and from themselves their own weakness. Dude, this is exactly what we were just talking about a little bit ago, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
The role is easy. There is none easier, save only the role of the man who sneers alike at both criticism and performance. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows the end, the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he falls, at least falls while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Shame on the man of cultivated tastes who permits refinement to develop into fastidiousness that unfits him for doing the rough work of a workday world. Among the free peoples who govern themselves, there is a small field of usefulness open for the men of cloistered life who shrink from contact with their fellows. Yeah, this speech is a lot longer than I originally thought it was, too. But yeah, that whole bit about how there's going to be some people that just enjoy sneering at the things you do.
Oh, yeah.
That typically you don't hear that part added to it, but the one that I found on YouTube where the guy reads it to you, he says that part.
That's interesting. Wait a minute, am I playing something wrong here? I think I played something wrong. I think I messed this up.
Did you record that?
Record what I'm doing?
Yeah, like because for a second there it didn't look like you played something and it was just looping. You threw me off.
Oh, I'm the dummy.
What'd you do?
I misinterpreted the key that I was in, so some of these I didn't play right. Oh well, whatever. Did you do that hand already, or is it just a familiar position?
I've done that. I've drawn this one specifically already. I just wanted to do so since last week. The one I did was a little bit better. I wanted to go back and do this one because this is the only one that I had printed out that was obviously like a female hand, and that's the thing that I think is harder to draw is to draw female hands.
Oh, that's nice. I'm gonna have to try to remember that. How much you wanted to hear this chord after I went. So that C started sounding nice. Cool.
Cool.
I think I want to turn on one of these. See if we can find this dude, man, my homeboy here, Elevated Jam Tracks. Giving him a shout out. Appreciate his work. Elevated Jam. Let's go D. Let's go E minor. Did we do this one? I think we did. Yeah. School shooter baby. Out of key. Desk. Out of key. Out of key again.
I love that you talk trash to yourself out loud because I do it in my head the whole time I'm over here. I'm doing that.
Not in the groove as much as I want to be. Ooh, hit 2 notes out of key right there. Back to back. Hit another note out of key. So it's 6, 5, 3, 4. Let's see. Okay.
Ah.
Break something? What happened over there?
I just put my hand down and I hit this, and that's something I do. I don't know why. I do it at work. I think I do it at work because it annoys a couple people. So if they bump me and stuff, I go, "Oh, do that." So that was 100% just a
Lizard brain
yep,
activity.
lizard brain.
How long is this? I could play forever, but I just keep playing the same thing over and over again. Well, this is long. Ooh, buddy. Today was not the day to wear this. Oh my goodness, we only have 30 minutes left of our typical stream time. This has been a fantastic experience.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I feel like I'm making pretty good progress over here.
I all of a sudden pulled out some fantastic jammies.
Fantastic jammies.
Fantastic jammies. What is this about?
What is this about? Da 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 da.
F sharp. And what do we got? A C sharp. Perfect. Out of key. Played some notes out of key. The one thing that I gotta quit doing is I end phrases based off of the way that my hand mechanically feels instead of notes that actually make any kind of coherent sense.
Interesting.
I wouldn't say that was a really awkward and clunky way to say that. Not, they're in context, they're in key, but I'm relying more on the muscle memory than I am choosing something that supports the phrasing. There you go. That's a little bit better. I got a guitar teacher picked out, but I don't have the time or the money.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to take lessons again. Because getting a coach, mentor for the bodybuilding has helped me a ton. And I'm like, man, what would happen if I got a guitar guy?
Yeah.
Sloppy. Something about this guitar. So a lot of strings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Larger scale, so it's 27 inches, so it's 2 inches larger. Whenever I play a grandpa guitar, the normal guitar, it feels like a toy. Get a bunch of notes out of key. Potentiometer needs cleaned.
What is that word?
That's that fancy word to call a volume knob. That's technically what it is.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you, and this is gonna be gross to share right at the end of this. But you know when you accidentally scroll past a video on Instagram that has something real bizarre going on? Like the comment section's gonna be good.
Oh yeah.
There was a guy that was playing acoustic guitar with a shirt off.
Oh no.
And he had rather large potentiometers. And I opened up the comment section. Top comment was, which one's the volume knob?
That is unreal.
It was terrible, dude. I laughed so hard.
Potentiometer. I don't know how to spell that. Ah, there's the word. There you go, buddy. That's a potentiometer.
Oh, wow.
That's what this is.
The whole thing?
Yep. That's what this is underneath here.
Huh.
But what you see here is a little cap that you put on top of the
Yeah, well,
post.
I'm familiar with
what-
that because the one on my bass always came off.
Yeah, that's what a potentiometer is. This is also, but the reason this is a tone instead of a volume is because this affects the high frequency roll off. This does the whole volume of the guitar.
Huh.
Yep. Anyways, that's what those are. Potentiometers. Or what musicians call them colloquially is a pot, volume pot. The part that swivels is the wiper. So yeah, it's when they're crackly, it's dirty. Typically, if you take the thing off the back of your guitar, little plate, blast it out with some air, compressed air, or they don't do that anymore. They make little. I've got an electronic version of that somewhere around here. Knock the dirt out of it. It works a lot better.
Huh.
Anyways, there you go. Change the guts of many a guitar. Yeah, I remember was it that Jackson 7-string where I just basically tore it apart, took everything off of it, put it back together. That's how I decided to learn trial by fire. The good old days.
I say something. No, I'm saying something. The potentiometer was not turned off. That's exactly the way that I was saying it in my head. So it's...
I have one of those groove light belts.
Yeah.
You ever seen those advertised?
Uh-uh.
Oh, they're nice, man. I highly recommend it. They're expensive, so ask for it for a gift as a gift. Hey, somebody's oh, is it a bot?
Cheap viewers on streamboo.com. Remove the space.
Welcome, bot. We welcome our AI overlord.
Hello.
I don't know what that accent was.
I don't either.
I couldn't do it again. Look at that Mune.
Look at Immune.
Look at that rising up.
Look at Immune. It's big.
It's gonna rise up.
It's rising. It's big.
It's big.
Look
the
at
camera
Immune.
doesn't know justice. Would you look at that Mune? I'm amazed that we have only dropped 0.3% frames. We're running at 4,100 kilobits a second. Great. 60 frames a second, consistent. Only using 2% of the overall CPU usage.
Dang.
That is incredible. I've got a pretty nice CPU. I don't even remember what it is. System information. I said pretty nice confidently and then also can't tell you. It's an i7, 12 cores. Nice, buddy. I do need some more RAM. That would be cool to upgrade stick in here. I've just not been motivated to spend the money. Random access memory.
Random ass memory.
Buyviewers.com.
Remove the space.
Remove the space.
What's this person's name? Vanessa Congo?
I've got some gold. I am a Nigerian prince.
Veins on go.
You are in the list of to inherit gold. Please accept.
When the deposed son of a Nigerian prince emails you directly, you answer it.
What is that Boris Johnson thing I sent you? Was amazing.
He's like, does nobody reserve the right to scrutinize me? Protoplasmic invertebrates or something like that.
That was incredible.
I don't even know what he called it. Spines jellies.
Yeah.
It sounded so British.
It was so incredible. I'm keeping this manual forever because of the fact of how absolutely useless and weird this thing is. I just love it. I thought it was going to unfold.
Yeah.
This thing is like an inch and a half. It's incredible, dude. It's in a lot of different languages. Not much to it is why.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. My reclaiming my sleep, I feel much better than I had
Yeah.
in several weeks. Sleep is just too important.
It really is.
It's just way too important. I know you're in a spot where that's a very finite and rare resource.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it is. I notice a huge difference. And I am 215 pounds right now. And absolutely hulking weights. My back days are starting to get violent.
It's funny. When I went to the
I'm meadows rowing what people in the gym were RDLing. I felt like an absolute animal.
they're not clean reps, but I am maxing out the row machine.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
They're ego reps.
I'm one plate away from 3 reps, single arm pull down on the,
Yeah,
the
I don't know.
row machine, dude. Or the lat pull down machine.
So the lat pull down machine that's on the one side where it comes straight down,
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
that one. I think today I did 10 reps or 10 to 12 reps of each side, but like I was like stretching and holding like real controlled. And I think I got like, it was 85 pounds or is it 80? I can't remember which increments it goes.
Is it, how many pulleys does it have, do you know?
It's just straight up, and then it goes across, and then comes straight down.
Okay.
So from what I learned on that Ben Yanes guy is if it does that, then the weight that's calculated on it is accurate. If it does, it's the one where like it's on the other side where you can do cable flies. If it goes up and then down or then that's half essentially.
Yes.
So
yep. Because each pulley it touches is like 20% or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they also apparently they calculate. So the reason that they do that, it's half on the numbers on those ones, is because it's calculating you to be using both of them for the cables. Oh. So if it says 50 here, you're not really doing 50.
And my shoulder's hurting because there's a lot of tissue changing right here.
Yeah.
Like the pain that I have isn't wanting to keep me from working out because it feels like growing pains. So that's what's keeping me going. We got about 10 minutes of this left.
That might be better than last time, but it's not great.
I'll be the judge of that. Oh, it's better than last time.
Yeah. It's still the knuckles, like the palm is a little bit long.
Also, what's really hard to do is the little bit of a ring that's protruding there.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't really mess with that last time, but I just because I just kind of put some eraser dots there so that it looked like there was a shine. I wasn't super worried about making that thing happen. Let's see if I can find the old one that I did that looked like it. I could look at them both. Back to back.
Heck yeah, man.
Heck yeah.
Twitch sending me notifications saying congratulations on streaming consistency and...
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's trying to encourage you to continue to stream.
Aw. Thanks, Twitch.
Thanks, buddy. The only interactions we have are robots. I would have it no other way, huh?
They're real nice.
They're real nice. You like that volume song?
Yeah, I did. You know, I liked that one, and I liked it too because it reminded me of my favorite song on. That's not why I liked it. I liked it because it was a good song, but it also had the same kind of vibe as "To the Death" on A Day to Remember's new album.
Oh, okay.
And so both of those songs were really cool to listen to back to back and lift weights today. All right, let's see.
Oh, nice. You kept it.
Yeah. Yeah, I did the fingers way better.
Yeah, I was gonna say it. I can tell just at a glance, and even on the
palm is better. The back of the hand is better on the original one. But it's still not terrible on here. I think I just need to drop, or it might be this needs just smoothed out. That might be what it is.
Yeah, the fingers do. Even just looking through OBS, the fingers do look a little bit better.
Yeah, there's that, and then that. Plus the midtones I got in like the palm area, like in here, like this looks so much fuller now. That's good.
That's cool.
How much time we got left?
About 10 minutes. I said that about 10 minutes ago.
Dude, since nobody's on here, I might tell you a story that I heard.
You got to remember, it's still going on the internet.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Never mind.
I just wanted to...
I wanted to read, like, there's a lot of like war stories I've been listening to off that one guy's page.
Oh,
And he's got like really funny, but some of the stuff he says, like,
yeah.
it's pretty violent.
Man, I was on 4chan the other day, and they posted some new trench warfare videos that was just, golly.
I saw something that was really cool. It was, so you know how like we've been talking about how like drone warfare is really scary and crazy. They were talking about how there was a lot of, it was a bunch of programs where essentially they would have a fleet of drones attack your base, and it would be way too many for your systems to defend against. So essentially, just it would overwhelm your defenses. They came up with this thing called Leonidas, and it literally just looks like a giant square, almost like a speaker that pops up on like almost like a SAM site, you know, and it's focused microwaves. And they just point it at the swarm and they just all fall out of the sky.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You see that video going around, viral video going around? Nobody gets hurt or anything like this, but it's like some kind of store, and they have that outside camera showing the vehicles parked, and a woman in a red SUV pulls up, or no, she doesn't pull. It doesn't show her.
Are you talking about the battery that falls out of the sky? Yeah. What was that? Did she have a cat or a dog in the car or something?
No, it was a kid.
Was it a kid?
In a seat? Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that would have killed somebody.
Well, what was the point of it? It was like they were using drones to deliver batteries or something?
I don't know.
That was weird.
Yeah, it was. I think that's going to get a nix.
So
I thought maybe we would see drone delivery, but
yeah.
Man, I don't know.
Unless it gets, because it's one of those deals where it probably like will get nixed, but it could also be like, you remember when, you don't remember this because no, we weren't alive for this. So when electricity first came out,
yeah,
all
sure.
the things that I don't know why I said you remember.
Yeah,
that.
I know.
It's just like my brain.
That,
you remember that? You remember when electricity was invented?
We're not that old, man.
There was somebody that got electrocuted, and they tried to basically blame it on how unsafe it was and everything like that. So then they were like, you can actually look them up. It's really funny. They're these old timey. They almost look like war propaganda like illustrations, but it's of a city that's just covered in wires and like people getting electrocuted.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean India?
I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. It looks exactly like that.
That was inappropriate. Now it's on the internet. Oh, yeah. Well. I couldn't help myself.
Yeah, it's like, well, it was also, that was back when Edison and Nikola Tesla were having like back and forth debates over which Nikola Tesla just did stuff and then Edison tried to ruin it. That was back when he was trying to prove people, you'll know this better than me. Was it one of them like AC current and the other like DC current?
Mm-hmm. Alternating current and direct current?
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure saying AC current is like saying ATM machine.
Yeah.
But that's because I don't care. But
I don't care.
The whichever one Tesla liked,
he was a direct current guy.
Okay, that Edison killed like 6 elephants trying to prove to people that it was like super dangerous. So he would just hook an elephant up to it, electrocute it, and kill it, and be like, "See, it's bad." And it's like, dude, why are you killing all these elephants?
It's hilarious. What the heck?
Did you type in AC/DC and get music?
Oh, so he was the alternating current guy. I told
Which
you wrong.
one?
Nikola Tesla.
He liked AC?
I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, I told you wrong. He was the alternating current guy. So what you're talking about is that Edison developed direct current that runs continuous in a single direction. Problem was direct current was not easily converted to higher or lower voltages, and so Tesla believed AC current was the solution. It reverses the direction certain number of times per second.
Weird.
Yeah. Electricity's weird.
Dude, I feel like that guy that he took a picture of like nature and he's like, you telling me they made Bluetooth from this?
Yeah.
Like,
They looked at this and said, let's make Wi-Fi.
yeah.
Yeah. There was a reel, you may have sent it to me or seen it, where the guy is talking about, he actually does like a really quick, brief overview of getting the rare earth minerals and then turning it into components that are within a computer.
Yeah.
Boy, that's intense. I can't believe, how in the world did we figure that stuff out?
I don't know.
Excuse me. This is something interesting to end on, just because I think you'll find it odd, and you like little odd historic factoids. Treadmill, that term,
Yeah.
it comes from a form of punishment.
Yeah. They were big wheels.
Yeah, and so they, like, if you couldn't pay back a debt, they'd make you mill
Yeah.
for the community until you paid your debt back.
Yeah.
They'd send you on the treadmill. And now, like, those people would be like, they're in heaven, like.
Well, to be fair, you can voluntarily get off them now.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah, they weren't allowed to get off. It was,
Yeah, it was pretty torturous. Man, that thing about that guy's morning routine. I'm gonna have you watch the Crystalia rundown on it.
So
it's funny.
I've seen so many people making fun of it, and I saw the one guy in a trailer. He was like, he did his where he like wakes up, he pours 2 white monsters in a thing, he drinks it, and then he like puts ice cubes in it and like bathes his face in it. And like every 5 minutes he does that. It's like he just goes back to like, it's super funny.
It's hilarious.
That's like that video that I really like where that kid makes fun of that dude that's like, I've got 3 days in one day. That's how I'm ahead of all of you. He's like, my first day is 6 a.m. to noon. Boom. Day one done already. My next day starts at noon and it goes to 6. Day 2 in the back. And then he goes, so what I've done is I've manipulated time to have so that every day for me is 6 hours. And this kid like stitches it and he's like, oh yeah, well I've manipulated time for me where every hour is a day. So I have 24 days in a day. It's like, I've manipulated time. It's like, how do you not think of that?
How'd you not think of that?
Dude, it's so funny.
I don't understand that guy's point either.
He doesn't have a point. It's just one of those things where like, he just, I don't know. Like there's some people that fall into money and then when someone asks them like, hey, how did you do this? They just got to come up with something, you know?
I don't doubt that a lot of people do work hard, but I'm starting to question what people consider work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, anyways, about to close the stream down.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, chatbot.
Bye, chatbot. It was nice to talk to you. Remove the space. Hopefully that goes well for you.
Yep. All right, man. I'm going to wait, though, because I like it to at least tick over to 9.
I don't mind. What do we got? How much time?
Probably like 15 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
This one went by quick.
It would be really funny if it just abruptly stopped. Oh, how much time do we have yet? Oh, we got like...
There it is.
Boom.
All right, folks. The song ended, too. That's perfect.
That's perfect.
That's perfect.